Released on the same day, in the same genre, and exclusive to the same region as, up to now anyway, officially the worst Game Boy game in existence, comes another racing game. Thankfully, Roadster is much better. In fact, I dare say this one is actually pretty good. Once I figured out the controls, that is. The first few races I wondered why everyone was so much faster than me. My car would reach 112 kilometers an hour and no higher, regardless of which character I chose, while everyone else sped off. That's because there are 2 gears in the game, but you don't switch between them with up or down as you do in Chase HQ or something like that. You first must get up to speed by pressing the B button, and then switch to A button for the higher gear. A little unusual perhaps, but I suppose when you're trying to steer, you don't also want to push up and down. It's odd that there's no brake, but then it's not one of those races where you'll really use it. The graphics are quite conservative, but what was put down is very effective. The races take place from a top-down perspective, but you can see far enough in front of you that you shouldn't get too caught out by the tracks. 6 cars can be displayed on screen at the same time, with very little flicker or lag to speak of. It's a shame all the cars look the same, but it's always clear which one's yours, so I guess it doesn't matter that much. The scenery varies nicely. It's obvious when you're in a city, with the buildings either side of the roads and train tracks that you cross on some stages, things of that nature. After each race, you can spend a point increasing either your tyres, traction or cornering ability, or body, how much damage you can take. The top speeds never change, which possibly explains why you all drive the same car. Coming into contact with another car spins you around, but it doesn't seem to hamper you that much. You'll take a little damage, enough and you'll need to pit or suffer retirement, but typically you won't lose much speed, and with a slight direction adjustment you'll be right back on your way. What does harm you is if you crash too hard into the sides of the track. That brings you to a dead stop, but not only that, it flings you bodily out of the car, and you'll have to run road rash style back to it to rejoin the race. It amused me a couple of times, and then made me angry at my opponents after that, which is probably the intended response. Some tracks are circuits with laps, some are point-to-point through city streets. You get 10 points for a win, and it seems that if you manage to beat the course record, you even get a bonus point. Others move away from the city into the forests, complete with rock obstacles littering the track. These will frustrate you, but thankfully, the opponents aren't immune to them either. The last lot of stages are at the beach, complete with water hazards that you have to jump over. Plenty of variation. Graphically, it's decent. Audibly, it's excellent. Fast-paced beats suitable for any tarmac shredding experience, each stage having its own unique theme, coupled with, what's that? Engine noise? Oh my days! The controls work perfectly. Some of the races are circuits, which inevitably mean that at times you'll be racing towards the bottom of the screen. Rather than make the baffling mistake that some racing games make, left and right turn the car to its left and right, rather than the left or right of the screen. You'd think that was common sense, but unfortunately that wasn't always the case. So, one game removed from what might well turn out to be the absolute nadir of the entire library, comes one of its much higher standard releases. Roadster is right up there with the greats like Micro Machines or V-Rally. These guys are much later on though. To get so much right in 1990 makes it even stranger that Roadster never left Japan.